Welcome to Potluck Polk. I'm your host, Brian Lacey, and Potluck Polk is the show that you've always wanted to watch. It's going to introduce you to some of the restaurants within Polk County, maybe take you to places that you can get those sweet treats or that craft brew, or maybe we might even bring you into a kitchen and show you some things that you can do at home. And speaking of kitchens, I want to introduce you to my buddy Ron Lund. He's with Central Florida Healthcare. He's a registered dietitian. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Well, I understand since this is our first show, we're going to do something quick and easy, and pasta salad is on the menu.
It is indeed. It's a very easy recipe to make. The only cooking really prepared with this recipe is the pasta.
Yeah.
You just follow the instructions on the box, usually 8 to 10 minutes.
As we cook pasta, we know that within a society, some people need gluten-free pasta. So what are some of the alternatives that they can go with when it comes to that?
Yep. So for those who have celiac disease, so they have a GI gut disorder that they can't tolerate the gluten. They want to do a gluten-free pasta. You can find that usually in the stores. It's much more popular now. For those who feel they have some sensitivity to gluten, they feel like they have some inflammation, joint pain and things, they want to try that. By all means, that's an option too.
And we've got one of the girls in our office that's just actually gone away from gluten and just started, so it doesn't necessarily have to be something medical. People just want to move away from that.
Could be, absolutely. Yeah, a lot of people feel that they don't tolerate it well. I mean, as soon as they eat pasta, or bread, they start to get that GI, the stomach pain, and then they eliminate that from the diet, and they tend to feel a lot better.
Well, let's talk ingredients as far as pasta salad goes. I see some things over there that are new. I see some things that are standard kind of issue as far as pork.
Right, and I'm sorry for interrupting. These ingredients are all interchangeable, so there's basically any type of vegetables and seasonings you can put into a pasta salad. In particular for this recipe, so we've got quartered.
So let's go ahead and start moving them over if we will.
Yep. So we've got the actual pasta itself, and that's that has gluten in it.
Okay.
You can use a fat-free dressing if you'd like. I've got a little bit of olive oil and some balsamic vinegar and some Mrs. Dash that I combined to make a dressing for the salad itself. We've got 2 seasonings. We've got parsley and I am forgetting the other one. I apologize. I will get that in just a minute for you. We have quartered artichoke hearts.
Yeah, the artichoke hearts were,
yes.
That's a brand new one for me for pasta salad.
And those are good. I don't know if you've ever had them before. They're really good. We've got some onions, and we got some red pepper. We also have some sun-dried tomatoes, and we soaked them in water a little bit to make it a little more palatable. They're really hard to chew when they're dry.
Yeah.
And then we got some red kidney beans.
Now, see, there's another new one that I've never been introduced to as far as pasta salad goes. So a little bit of prep time. We did this prior to taping. About how much time should this take to make?
The bulk of the time is really going to be the preparation of the pasta, which is just putting it in the water, let it go for 8 to 10 minutes. So probably while that's cooking, you can get everything else together. If you want to chop up your seasonings and your spices and herbs, by all means, you can do that. Or you can get them pre-made in the store. Walmart has them where you can buy them. These little containers are really cool, and they're already chopped and ready to go.
Okay.
I got the red pepper. That takes maybe a minute. And you want to make sure...
We were working the knife earlier today.
We were indeed. So when you get these vegetables too, and fruit for that as well, you want to make sure you always wash it first.
Right.
Get off any type of contaminants and dirt, something that might be on the outer part of the actual vegetable or fruit itself. Okay?
All right. What do you say we throw the pasta in the water and get the hardest part about this done?
Right? Yep. So we got about 2 cups of dry pasta. And you just put it in the water. Sometimes people will add salt. Sometimes people add oil to the water. It's up to you. You don't have to do it.
So for the most part, do you want this al dente or do you want to overcook it?
That's preference too. Some people like it al dente, which I like it. Some people like it nice and soft. Some people may have a chewing problem. They might want it softer, right? Yeah.
Okay.
But if it's al dente, it's probably going to hold up a little better. It's not going to get as mushy.
Okay.
When you're making the recipe.
All right.
Yep. So we got the pasta going. You go for about 8 to 10 minutes, and got some pasta over here that's already done.
All right.
All right.
So let's go ahead and start this.
By all means. So you just take your ingredients. There's no order to put them in. Just add them all to your pasta itself. Of course, we went over all these a few minutes ago.
So are the seasonings the last to go on, or?
There's really no order, because what we're going to do, once we get everything in here, we're going to just mix it all up together. Mm-hmm. So this is the actual dressing itself.
Okay.
So I just mixed it together real quick so it kind of gets all blended together. And that's the dressing there. And what I like about that is there isn't any sodium in it. This is really a nice low sodium recipe.
And of course, using the Mrs. Dash's, no salt.
Right. Yep. It's a great salt alternative if you're looking to reduce the amount of salt in your diet.
Okay, let's talk the marinated artichoke hearts. Where do those come into play?
So, we need to put these in.
Yeah, that's, see,
Thanks for keeping me on cue, right?
I thought there was something special. They went in last, so.
So these came from Walmart, but you can typically get these at most grocery stores. It's a vegetable, so it's a good source of fiber. They're low in calories. They do have a little bit of oil added to it, and these hardly have any sodium in them. Some have a lot more than others.
Okay.
So if you are trying to limit the amount of salt in your diet, reading the labels is going to be really important.
And as you mentioned, read the labels. Talk about some of the things that the folks should look for when they're looking at the labels, things they should avoid.
Right, really good question. So let's start off with sodium because we were just talking about that, right?
Okay.
You know, if you're looking for something low sodium, it's going to be about 140 milligrams or less.
Okay.
That's going to be a low sodium. And typically in the day, we want to try to keep it about 2,300 milligrams for the day. If you could drop that down to about 1,500 milligrams, that's even a little better. That's from the American Heart Association. You can look at fat. Some things have quite a bit of fat added to them versus some others are a lot less fat. In general, saturated fat is the one we want to be really, really cautious of. That's the one that typically comes from animal products and sometimes some of the tropical fruits.
Well, let's go ahead and mix this up and see what our end result is. While you're mixing that up, one thing that I really want to stress to those that are watching at home, Central Florida Healthcare has classes that they can take when it comes to cooking. How do they go about finding out about these?
That's a great question. I'm glad you brought that up. So we have classes once a month. It's typically the first Thursday of the month, and it goes from 5:30 till 7. It's right here at 201 Magnolia Avenue in Winter Haven. They can call me to make an RSVP, but you don't have to call and make an RSVP. You can just show up. We're glad you showed up, and then we'll get you on our calling list, and then you will get notification monthly of the upcoming classes. And you'll also receive a text.
All right.
Yes.
Well, Ron, you guys at home, hope you don't mind. We're going to sit and enjoy some of this for right now. Ron, thanks for the lesson today.